It's one of those things, you know, first of all, I think differentiating the different types of relationships. You're right, you can't just go around bearing your soul to every person you interact with. It's not safe for you because not everyone has your best intention at heart.
Yeah.
But you do have particular relationships where you want to have a safe space. And sometimes it's family members, most often it's your spouse, it could be good friends that you have. And that space, in that space, it's so important that you have exactly what the eye opener says, the space to be heard. Because it is such an awful feeling to kind of depart from the outer world and come into your inner circle and still feel misunderstood and like you're not listened to in any way. And building that relationship, I think the eye opener kind of just glossed it over. It takes a lot of work.
Yep.
First of all, people have different communication styles. Second of all, it's looking at the fact that you have different things happening in your life. You know, sometimes your friends are overwhelmed and they just can't absorb what it is that you are going through or what you want to unload on them at that time. The same with your spouse, the same with your family members. And so I think that it is for me the critical part of it, that you have to be able, one, to be willing to do the work and then actually do it, because it is so important. I think it's kind of like where you can be able to reset yourself in these interpersonal relationships to go back out and face the rest of the world. And it happens so often. It happens with all our close relationships. We get so close that we start thinking, oh, they know, they understand. Like, you know, the close relationship did not make us mind readers. Yeah. So you do have to express yourself in that way, and it takes a lot of practice and a lot of trial and error, and you know, they give the option of visualizing and kind of imagining how it's going to go. I love that they say don't put too much into it, because you don't want to go in with, you know, a speech as to what I'm going to say, because it's a conversation.
I know what I mean, and then also, if you rarely do things ever come out or happen exactly the way you expect them to. So I find that not just particular to the situation, but if you do sort of visualize or even rehearse or something, and then it doesn't go 100% the way you expect, then you sort of then it's a problem. Then you can panic. Then all sorts of things. But I think that it doesn't really hurt to just give some forethought to it, because it is, as you say, it takes effort to do. And you know what I was thinking also as you were speaking? It occurred to me that I was thinking about little kids and how they're so trusting, and they're also very open, and you know that they don't have any sort of filter. So it sort of struck me that I think it comes rather naturally to us to be open and to be honest and stuff, you know, as we're younger and stuff. And then based on experiences that we have, we sort of learn behaviors to protect ourselves. And so it takes a lot of unlearning. And that's why it takes so much effort and so much time too, so that you can't expect that opening up to somebody, even if it's somebody that you do like or that you're attracted to, and you find that it's not automatic 100% of the time, because you know you do want people to think well of you, and that you want to always create and to make others happy, especially if you're a people pleaser. So you might, you know, suppress or you know, downplay some of what you're feeling or what you're thinking. So it really does take a lot of effort and concentrated effort to be open with people. But in the long run, it does work out when you do find those one or two people who you really create those valuable, long-lasting relationships with.
That's right. Okay, so that is our eye-opener for today. Get to work on those communication skills with your loved ones. So we got to start off with our first interview for today.
Yeah, we have a great show lined up for you today, and our first conversation, we are going to be checking in with the Attorney General, the Honorable Magali Marion Young, who is going to be giving us an update from the AG's ministry and all they are doing in the legal realm.
The second part of the show, I'll take some time here. It's Koch Ti Okot To Hook.
Okay.
All right. Yes. I'm sure I got that wrong. It's actually a Maya cultural program, Let's Dance. And actually, there's a program that is produced in the South. Aurelia Show is the producer. It's a Maya culture show. And they have Mayan artists who actually create music. And we're going to be talking with them about the program, why they're doing it, and definitely hearing a bit from the artist himself.
And for our final conversation, we are going to be talking a bit about barbecue. So we've got Bradley's Backyard Barbecue in the house today, and they're going to be talking about all of the delicious stuff that they've got at their restaurant, and they're also going to be showing us their pulled pork burger and their sweet potato fries. So if you are a foodie, then you definitely want to stay tuned for our third conversation.
All right. So that's what we have in store for you this morning. We got a birthday shout out though.
Yes, we do. So from all of us at Open Your Eyes on Channel 5, we want to wish a very happy birthday to Ibari Magdaleno, who is turning 15 today. So Ibari, we hope you have a great day. Happy, happy birthday, and we wish you many, many more.
All right. So we'll take that break, and when we come back, we'll have the introductory interview with the new Attorney General.
Es un hecho que puedes obtener servicios ilimitados con Smart. ¿Cansado de que se corte la línea cuando más necesitas estar conectado? Es un hecho que cuando te suscribes al plan de Smart Plus, obtienes llamadas, textos y datos ilimitados. Y también es un hecho que te puedes suscribir con un grupo de 5 miembros al plan Smart Share y hasta 40 miembros al plan Smart Enterprise para llamadas, textos y datos ilimitados. Smart tiene los verdaderos planes ilimitados. Es un hecho. Sé Smart y vive de forma Smart.
Everyone is at risk of catching COVID-19, so it's important to quickly recognize signs and symptoms of the infection. The most common symptoms are fever, dry cough, and tiredness or fatigue. Some people may also have sore throat, aches and pains, stuffy nose, or diarrhea. But a few people have also reported pink eye or conjunctivitis, headache, loss of taste or smell, a rash on skin, or change in the color of fingers or toes. Emergency warning signs that require immediate medical attention are extreme difficulty breathing, severe constant pain or pressure in the chest, becoming confused, unable to talk or move, bluish lips, face, fingers, or toes. For more information, call 0800 MOH-CARE. Help keep Belize safe.
When someone you love becomes a memory, the memory becomes a treasure. Channel 5 introduces the Daily Obituaries. The Daily Obituaries will broadcast all death and funeral announcements and memorials to honor your loved one's life and memories. The Daily Obituaries airs on Channel 5 prior to the evening newscast, with subsequent repeats at 10 p.m. and 12 noon the following day. It will also be placed online on our social media platforms, all for a standard package fee. Celebrate their lives and memories with Channel 5's Daily Obituaries. Honor in life and reverence in death.
Wow. Oh my God, she drunk. No hurry, I got this. Goodness. Oh my gosh, it's the artist.
Being the hardest. The artist. But you had way more than 2 drinks tonight, love, which is a legal limit to drive. What about you? Can you drive?
Well, I was drinking soft drink all night, so I can drive her home. Thanks, Bree. Of course, Tricia, you know I got you. You're my girl.
That's what I like to see. Friends don't let friends drive drunk, cause you can't replay in a real life. Stig says so. Can't replay in a real life.
So class, let's review your homework. What are some of the things that we can do to make sure everyone has a clean and reliable supply of water?
Sir, we should turn off the faucet when using soap to bathe, to wash our hands, and maybe even our cars. This will cut our water bills and save us a lot of water.
My dad says we should keep the area around the water pipes close to our houses clean.
Yes, sir. We should encourage our parents to pay their water bills so the entire village will always have clean water.
Right, class. We should not forget to attend water board meetings and add our 2 cents. Make sure everyone has reliable, clean water.
My mom says that 3 young people can volunteer to paint the public water pipe.
So, how do we make sure we will always have reliable, clean water?
Join the Clean Water Revolution.
Get involved today and do your part to keep your water supply clean and reliable.
The Department of Rural Development is working on achieving Goal 6 of the Sustainable Development Goals, which is to ensure access to water and sanitation for all.
Been drinking all night, feeling so high, better not drive, won't even try.
Been drinking all night, feeling so high, better not drive, ain't gonna try. Been drinking all night, feeling so high, better not drive, ain't gonna try. If you're drinking and driving, I'm not going with ya. If you're drinking and driving, I'm not going with ya. People die every day, I'm not going with ya. I'ma find my own way, I'm not going with ya. It's okay, I'll wait. Even good people make mistakes. I don't wanna realize when it's too late. Drinking and driving is never safe. If you're drinking and driving, I'm not going with ya. If you're drinking and driving, I'm not going with ya. Been drinking all night, feeling so high, better not drive, ain't gonna try. Been drinking all night, feeling so high, better not drive, ain't gonna try.
Hey, Dad.
Hi, Brian. Please stop running around the house.
Right now, Dad.
Damn it, Brian! I told you stop it! Can't you hear me? Are you deaf? Are you just being...
Time out. Your life is stressful, and it is easy to lose your patience. When you feel this is about to happen, take a time out. Harsh words are verbal violence and can be very harmful. They are not forgotten. Offering alternatives and communicating with your child is the best way to build real respect.
I'm sorry, Brian. Dad just had a rough day at work. Can you do something quiet?
Do you want a job?
That's more like it.
You never know when it might happen.
You can't afford to take chances with your safety. You can't afford to take chances with your life. Because you never know when it might happen.
Always be safe, because you never know.
Kadile sa Albert Iteralube. Inita nomada. Naba santi golida ligabri. Asa talida l'escola abro hatia. Afiat na lo ni la mege do. Time out. Weri hali anigi beli habu sa rogrigi awena mohaya hagamro duniwa irahia. Baro badan. Ayano haba hama bisanigu. Demele badugunile. Bide haba lida leredoroniwa hagamredoniwa irahia.
Okay, students, let's focus now.
Teacher, yes, teacher.
Can anyone tell me what sustainable development means? Ganze?
Huh?
Anybody?
Teacher. Last night my dad was talking about sustainable development
and he said something about people and nature and something else. Oh, and money.
That's good. But did you ask your dad what sustainable development really means?
Yes, teacher, but he said I was too young to know what that is. Is it something bad?
No, Valisha, it's not bad. It's delicious. Well, at least it looks delicious on the TV.
Can I get some?
No, Waldo. You're thinking about edible arrangements. That's what you saw, edible arrangements.
Don't laugh, class. Some people get confused with sustainable development. But when we balance the three things Padisha said, we achieve sustainable development.
What do you mean by balance, teacher?
It is when people use only the resources they need from the forest, rivers, and sea and leave some resources to grow back again.
But teacher, why do people cut down the nice trees that give us shade and kill the poor animals?
Because people need wood to build houses, food to cook, and water to drink.
But teacher, we have enough trees to get wood and enough plants and animals to get food. Good enough that we can sell them and make money.
That may be so, Waldo. We need money to live. But if we use up all the resources, then there will be none left for our friends and families to see later. Do you think that's fair?
No, teacher. That's being greedy. My mom always tells me to use what I need now and save for rainy days.
Exactly.
Teacher, if we take care of Belize's precious resources and practice sustainable development, we and our children can enjoy all of Belize. That's what I learned from the Department of the Environment when they came to present at our school.
Oh, that's excellent, Waldo.
Are back, and if you're joining us now, we are just getting our first conversation started for this morning. Joining us, we have the pleasure of having the Honorable Attorney General Magali Marin Young here to discuss some of the latest legal developments with us this morning. Good morning, Honorable Attorney General.
Good morning, Gavin and Marlene.
Thank you so much for joining us. First off, let me congratulate you on your appointment to the office. And I'm wondering if we can just start our conversation by talking about how you've been settling into the role and what the role of Attorney General means to you and the sort of impact that you hope to make.
Okay. Well, thanks for having me on the show. I was sworn in on the 16th of November last year as Attorney General. And as Attorney General, I am the Chief Legal Advisor to the government. I also wear some other hats. I'm the nominal head of the Bar Association and in the judiciary as well. And so my portfolio as Attorney General is to assist the government in legal matters of any shape or form, litigation, whatever cases come up, the drafting of legislation, policy, legal policy, etc. So that's what I do on the government end. With the nominal hats I wear, I also assist with policy development in terms of the judiciary. And the Prime Minister Briceño and his government have some serious reforms that they wish to get done with a view to strengthen the judiciary, which we believe has been weakened within the last 12 years. So the mission is to strengthen the judiciary, reform the judiciary with a view to, ensure that the rule of law once again prevails in Belize. And so that's basically what my mission is as Attorney General. The challenges upon assuming office are many. I've encountered a lot of neglect. In my ministry alone, at the AG ministry, I found a ministry without a law library, as basic as that. So it's there's a lot to get done. So yes, I hope I answered your question, Kevin.
Well, one portion I think we didn't get, which is, you know, you choosing to accept the appointment and leaving your private practice to go into public service. There must be some appeal for you in terms of the impact of work that you want to do. What is that?
Yes, so I'm not an elected member of the House, and I'm not an appointed senator. I sit solely as the Attorney General, and it's in a sense a financial sacrifice. I am coming from the private bar, having established a law firm, but because you know, all of us have to give back in public service in one way, shape, or form, and Gavin could bear me out. We have witnessed the judiciary decline, and practice became challenging because for various reasons. And I think this is an opportunity given to me by Prime Minister Briceño and his government to improve the judiciary, to not only talk the talk, but walk the walk. And so that is why I've left my established law firm to join public service with a view to improve things. I do intend to get back to private practice, and I want to get back to private practice and enjoy appearing before an independent judiciary with capable people who would appreciate the legal arguments and who will be fair. So that's one of the primary reasons of accepting and making the sacrifice to join the public service at this time.
And you know, that brings up, of course, one of the important issues that we do want to talk about. But before we jump into some of the legislative changes that have been made or that have made the news recently, I'm wondering if you could describe for our viewers just a little bit more, shed a little bit more light on why you say that, you know, that elements of the judiciary have declined and or the practice in general has declined, especially, you know, someone in your shoes who, as you said, has established a successful law firm. You are, of course, a senior counsel, a very experienced attorney. So based on what you've seen over the years, why is it that you say that the state of things in the judiciary and the legal field has declined?
Okay, so one of the reasons, well, what we've been experiencing with some judges, and I won't, you know, there are always exceptions, and there are some hardworking, very capable judges that presently sit on the bench. But it has been my experience of recent that we've had a lot of delays in delivery of judgments. So that's been frustrating. Frustrating from the client's perspective. The client started a legal challenge with a view to get a resolution and hoping that resolution would be swift. And so having to wait very long for a resolution to some of these problems are, for them, it's very personal in family matters. To wait 8 years for a family dispute to get resolved is torture, mental torture for some of them. And the same is true whether it's a land dispute, a challenge in relation to government's action. Waiting too long has been frustrating from the client's end. On the private practice, from the business end, of course, you know, you have these cases that you have to wait to get closure and to be able to properly invoice clients and so forth. So there's been that challenge. There's also been the challenge that some of the jurisprudence and the judgments and evidence of this is the appellate success rate have just been, despite efforts by counsel at the bar to put forward the best legal arguments, if you don't have a capable judge who can appreciate those fine legal points and arguments, you know, you will end up with a decision that is totally misconstrues the law, the facts. And so what we've observed is that the appellate rate, the success rate, parties have been forced to not only appeal to the Court of Appeal, but have been forced to go all the way to the Caribbean Court of Justice in their quest to get justice, because the lower courts, some of the decisions coming from the lower courts has just been, weak, erroneous, and not everybody can afford to go all the way to the Caribbean Court of Justice. That's the sad part. So it's only those deep pockets, or if a litigant gets lucky and an attorney is willing to make the financial sacrifice for them, to go all the way to the CCJ. And if we have a strong bench, both at the Supreme Court level and the Court of Appeal level, then it would save money for the general public, because you would leave the court feeling, okay, maybe I didn't succeed, but I thought I had a fair chance. I thought the judge interpreted the facts correctly, but the law was not on my side. Or vice versa, the law was on my side, but the facts weren't. But you leave a courtroom thinking, okay, yes, I did get my fair shot at it. But when a litigant doesn't feel that way, they're forced to appeal, and then you have hopes at the Court of Appeal level that you will get justice, but you end up again with, having to wait. And then when you do get your judgment, you realize how, wrong the judges interpreted the law or the facts, misapplied the facts. So you are forced to go even further. So, we need to strengthen the judiciary to make sure litigants have a fair shot when they do. It's not easy. It's not an easy decision for any litigant to decide to commence a claim. Yeah. It's expensive. It is time consuming, and it's mental torture. So it's important for us to get it right, to appoint credible judges, capable judges to our judiciary, so that the public feels satisfied that they have a fair chance, so that the business investor who invests in some enterprise in Belize, if there is any dispute, feels that they have a fair shot in having their dispute resolved legally before the courts.
So 2 points I think that I'd want to hear a bit more from what you just said. One is looking at the delivery of judgments. Now, we have reported on this year after year about the growing backlog and the length of time it takes to get the process going and then to get the judgment. So let's get a starting point as to where we are now, and in the ideal scenario, where you would want to see that time frame reduced to in the next 5 years.
So, this problem is not unique to Belize, Marlene and Gavin. This problem has plagued our region, but in part, in Belize, it has become perennial. A colleague reminded me the other day, for 23 years, he has been fighting delay in judgments. And it's not unique to the present bench. Previous persons appointed to the bench, former judges are also guilty of this problem. So it's been years we've been trying to get judgments delivered more efficiently. And we've just not been successful with the present legal structure that's there. So what we have in place is we have judges. Well, I can tell you that it's gotten even worse. We've had judgments. The former Chief Justice left 18 outstanding judgments, several of which are 8 years old. So it's gotten worse, and it was, the problem appeared to be only at the Supreme Court level, but now the problem is also we're experiencing at the Court of Appeal level. And that's very troubling. First, the Court of Appeal, back in the day when I started to practice, we would argue, the session would be for 3 weeks. We would argue a matter the first week, it would be reserved. On the final day of the session, we would get an oral ruling or a written judgment. And if they reserve, they would come back with a decision the following session, which would be within 3 to 4 months. Now we have a situation where there are several judgments that are outstanding in excess of 2 years, some in as much as 3 years before the Court of Appeal. So clearly the problem has gotten worse. And the legal structure that's there to monitor judges, to ensure that they comply with their constitutional duty to try matters fairly and within a reasonable time, is not getting better. And so in looking around, when I assumed office, I looked around the region, and as I told you, it's a regional problem. Both Guyana and Barbados have now found it necessary to enact legislation to impose time limits. And so upon assuming office, because I'm coming from private practice, because I know the frustration that my colleagues and I face with this problem, it's one of the issues and a commitment by the present government to ensure efficient delivery of justice. I had the legal drafting team at the AG Ministry draft a legislation called the Time Limit for Judicial Decisions Bill. And that was tabled at the last House sitting. And that seeks to impose a time limit of 4 months for judges, 120 days. And judges, if they're not able to hand down a decision within that time, the onus then falls on them to apply to the Judicial and Legal Services Commission for an extension. And there are various reasons set out for various grounds upon which they could apply for that extension. So we feel that by putting the onus on them now to apply for an extension, we won't have an accumulation of late judgments, because what happened with the former Chief Justice, he accumulated at one time in excess of 30 outstanding judgments. And then to get a judge sit down and recollect what he's heard over the last 8-10 years, you know, is very challenging for them. And so we don't want the judgments to accumulate. We don't want to have to say, okay, a judge demitted office, leaving 18 outstanding judgments. We want a system in place that, you know, monitor, well, there's a time limit and there is monitoring of, and then the onus falls on them to apply for an extension of time.
And importantly, in addition to that bill, we also saw that there were proposed even constitutional amendments and features of that bill, not only to monitor, as you say, but also to allow for or create additional criteria or situations in which a judge can actually be removed. And perhaps you can shed a little bit of light on that part of the new legislation.
Okay, all right. So in this jurisdiction, judges enjoy security of tenure. And the Constitution sets out very specific grounds upon which they may be removed from office. And presently, the two grounds for both the Supreme Court and Court of Appeal judges for misbehavior and inability. So we have a bill, you're correct, Gavin, we have a bill to amend both sections 98 and 102, and it's not necessarily, and I want to be very careful with this, we're not adding a ground per se. And the reason I'm saying this is because there was a decision by the Caribbean Court of Justice handed down in 2018 in a complaint challenge during a complainant had filed a complaint before the Judicial and Legal Services Commission seeking to remove a judge because of delay and other grounds. And the Caribbean Court of Justice found that the persistent delay in the delivery of judgment constitutes inability to ground the removal process. What we're doing is we're adding persistent delay, but the Caribbean Court of Justice has already found that persistent delay falls under the category of inability. We are adding it to add emphasis. We're also, and there's another ground that we're putting in, and that additional ground again is for persistent delay, but it complements the legal structure we're putting in under the time limit for judicial decisions. So I just want to be clear that we're codifying, in a sense, what has already been judicially pronounced. But the reason we are codifying it is to say we are very serious about this. We have witnessed at the bar this problem going on for, decades, and it needs to come to an end. There is, Gavin is perfectly correct, there is an amendment, but I just want to be clear that, we're not introducing a novel ground. We are codifying a judicial pronouncement, and we're also putting in a measure to complement the present time, the present bill that imposes time limit for judicial decisions. I hope I explained that. I made that clear, Gavin, because I don't want to be misconstrued.
No, absolutely.
So let me ask a question from the non-legal mind here, right? So when I hear you use words like independent and capable, it leads me to interpret that a part of the challenge is the recruitment process, perhaps, that has been done within the country in getting the people that we have as judges. And when you then extend the conversation to say that it's a regional problem, we talk about the issue of financial constraints. And you will be able to recruit the quality of what you can afford. How do you envision moving towards that independent and capable judiciary if our financial situation has only gotten worse?
Yes, and you've said a mouthful there, Marlene. At this time, Prime Minister Briceño has inherited a government that is in serious financial distress. I think he's been on the news to explain that presently to even finance the operation of the public service, we've had to borrow from Central Bank $1 million a day to pay the public sector wage bill. So it's a challenging time for us, but he has committed to double the amounts presently allocated to the judiciary. And we will try our best. And there are ways and means of trying to make the operation a little bit more efficiently. So we will have to come up with a package that we can attract the best. We will have to ensure, however, that the recruitment process, the interview, the selection process, that we investigate the backgrounds of judges. With the technology that's there, we can reach out to our regional colleagues and say, informally and through formal channels, investigate. But the recruitment process, we have to ensure that, persons that we do recruit have a history of integrity, hard work, and that they're capable. The short time I've been there, I know that judges have been treated unequally. Some were given special packages, travel allowance package that exceeded those of other judges. I don't know the reason. I have my suspicions why some were given special packages and others were not. But that would be speculation at this point. But we need to rationalize the package so that judges, whatever package we do offer, put together, is across the board. And we don't have a situation where some are treated more equal than others. So in as much as we are facing financial distress, we can at this point in time, we can least afford to not put our best efforts in recruiting the best that we potentially can, and ensure that the recruitment process is transparent and that it is geared towards recruiting capable, hardworking persons of the highest integrity.
Let's allow me to shift gears just a bit in the interest of time. We have been hearing of the Attorney General's office quite often these days, as the current administration has been unveiling a number of questionable actions from former ministers. And in fact, we've been told that the evidence they've gathered has been forwarded to you for legal review. Explain to us how this process works. If you find something criminal, tell us what are the steps that your office takes once this information is handed over to you.
So our office operates on the civil side. You also heard in the news that these investigations, or the outcome of these investigations, have been handed to the DPP's office, and it has also been forwarded to my office. The DPP is investigating from the criminal side whether there are any criminal offenses that have been committed. On my end, we will be looking to see if there has been any abuse in public office, and the civil side will try to recover any assets that were misappropriated or any damages suffered by the government in relation to any abuse in public office. But it's been referred to my office. It's under review, just like before the DPP, it's under review. Gavin could share with you that when you have parallel processes operating both on the criminal and civil side, we will, to a certain extent, we have to give the DPP priority in terms of moving ahead with her matter if she finds that there are any offenses that were committed, because the criminal law takes precedence in terms of civil claims. So we are reviewing from an evidential perspective. If we feel that there is, we have the evidence to recover assets or seek damages, we will file a claim. But I can tell you that if the DPP also does, her matter will have to move forward before our civil matter proceeds. But they can both proceed parallel. It's just that one will be allowed to proceed ahead of the other.
And in a similar vein, I suppose the Prime Minister and even other members of government have also spoken publicly about another issue, and that is another similar issue, I should say, and that relates to some of the contracts and the that were signed to certain public officers or you know, any sort of contract with the government that were left over from the previous administration, but there may be irregularities or something amiss, and I'm just paraphrasing things that have been said publicly, and also that these issues are under review. Is this also something that your office is reviewing and intends to take any sort of action regarding?
Yes, our office is presently engaged in reviewing some of these contracts. We're also, what was tabled in the House at the last House sitting is a Public Contracts Commission bill. And that bill will introduce what is called a Public Contracts Commission, whose power will be not only to approve the award of public contracts, but to also investigate public contracts for abuse of public office. So we are investigating some of the more egregious contracts that you've been hearing in the news. And we are also for irregularities and any illegality that took place. But there is also this commission that we hope to set up that will be empowered to investigate as well.
And of recent, we know as soon as you were appointed and sworn in, you got into your chair and started working immediately with the recent statutory instruments, of course, for COVID regulations. Now, looking at the SI, one of the first things I think people have made note of is that there's no end date. Do you want to explain that for us and what that means?
Yes. So, you know, my office acts on the instructions of the various ministries. Minister Shabat has put together a very capable task force to deal with the COVID. We had a COVID spike. I think shortly after the elections or before the elections. I don't have the precise date when that spike took effect. And so that task force came up with measures to implement, to seek to address, and to, if you will, regulate behavior, human behavior, with a view to contain the spread of the virus. So based on those instructions from that task force, the AG ministry came up with a statutory instrument. This particular instrument that was enacted before the Christmas holidays does not have an end date. And the reason we did not put an end date is because the measures that took place were, some of them were particular to a region, the northern region in the country, Corozal and Orange Walk. And those measures were put in place because of the rate of infection that the Ministry of Health was reporting in relation to the community spread in that region. And so Minister Shabat, we thought that if we did not put an end date, you know, in discussing with him, it would allow him flexibility to monitor the rate of infection. The sooner the rate of infection was reduced, and these measures, I'm hearing that there is some success in this, then there's to be a review of these measures with a view to vary them, you know, maybe apply it to another region depending on the rate of infection per district. So the measures, no end date was put in place because we wanted to give the Ministry of Health the flexibility to monitor the rate of infection. It's all based, it's not based on an arbitrary decision. It's not based on, well, we just want to regulate the conduct of persons in Belize. It is to allow the Ministry of Health, the medical doctors, to report and analyze the rate of infection, so that if there needs to be, we need to step up efforts, then we would modify the regulations, apply to a different region, etc.
All right. So, I mean, because last year under the pandemic, we saw a flurry of statutory instruments being introduced, kind of one to be able to update the other or to change the regulations. So this will help in kind of keeping things more formalized?
Well, I can tell you, some of the concerns that came out with the regulations were enacted in the past was that what the former administration did was to declare a state of emergency. And it was under that state of emergency that those regulations were enacted. And so the concern from members of the bar, human rights activists, was that that was a draconian measure. There was no need to, because when you declare a state of emergency, in a sense, you're suspending fundamental rights. It creates a whole different legal regime. And so a lot of the concern out there was, members in the legal community and human rights activists felt that this was too draconian a measure, because what simply needed to have been done, and the Constitution allows for it, is that on the ordinary legislation, the Public Health Act, the Quarantine Act, you could have enacted these same measures, because the Constitution does allow for the fundamental rights to be limited in the interest of public health and public safety. I'm just saying that because I think some of the concerns in relation to the previous regulations were that they were enacted under a state of emergency, and it was felt that that was too draconian a measure. Initially, when it was declared, yes, none of us knew. In March, none of us knew what was, the pandemic was new. Doctors and scientists didn't have a clue about this virus. And so, one could understand why but then it kept extending and so forth. And that was felt to be too draconian. The regulations presently are under the Quarantine Act, and they're simply health measures being enacted. I've heard people decry the curfew, but if you look at if you look around the world, most countries have enacted curfews, and the curfew was enacted just before the Christmas. The view was to restrict behavior, because at Christmas time we want to go out and see fireworks, we want to congregate with family, friends, socialize, and stay out late, party. It's a very festive season. So the curfew was aimed at preventing persons socializing after a certain period of time, and congregating in large measure to assist in, containing the virus.
And I'm sure.
But it's a measure. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna mention, as you noted, other countries do have curfews, and in fact, they tend to have earlier ones than we do. Some are as early as 5 or 4 p.m.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we are just because we are just about out of time, I did want to just ask for just one brief comment on an issue, because earlier on in the program we were speaking a lot about the issues facing the judiciary, but we didn't exactly. Well, Marlene did bring up the question of backlog, but we talked about it in the context of delayed judgments, but also in the system generally. There has been a backlog, and particularly now what we're seeing on the criminal side of court, especially with jury trials having not gone on for so long. So I'm just wondering if you could briefly comment on any sort of actions that your ministry might plan to take to address some of those issues.
Yes, so Gavin, you're perfectly right. We have not had jury trials since the COVID regulations were put into effect, the lockdown. So the Chief Justice, after discussing with her complement of judges, has suggested that we increase the number of offenses that permit for trial by judge alone. And so we are consulting the Bar Association on that. And as soon as our consultation process is complete, we intend to amend the criminal code to allow some of these offenses to be tried by judge alone, because if we would be violating the present regulations right now if we were to put a jury in a courtroom with a judge, with a prosecutor, defense counsel, witness, and members of the defendant's family who may want to attend trial. So one measure is to have these offenses be tried by judge alone, and then that would remove a jury, having to impanel a jury to allow for safer trial, and at the same time to push it so that we don't have this backlog continuing to accumulate, so that we could get on with the trial of substantive criminal matters.
And my final question, because I can't let you leave without hearing something about this very early on. One of the responsibilities under the Attorney General's ministry is legal aid. And I'm sure you can appreciate that given the economic status of many people in this country, they're dependent on that office for advice and for representation. What is your plan in being able to make a more efficient and accessible service there? We know they're incredibly under-resourced and have always been.
Yes, so yes, legal aid has always been an issue. And we have to, I don't want to say I have a fixed plan for it. It's a plan that I have to work closely with the Bar Association, because I think we do need their involvement and assistance in legal aid. The Bar Association took some initiatives prior to COVID, which I thought was very helpful. They had initiated legal clinics out district with a view to assist members of the public, providing them with legal advice. So I don't want to say I have a fixed plan. It is definitely on the agenda. We fully recognize that we need to resource and I won't say strengthen, that word is more applicable to the judiciary, but to ensure that it's accessible. Yeah. But it's a plan that we have to work closely with the Bar, because we will lean on them to assist, members of the Bar to assist. So I want to engage them in a consultation process before we do so. All right?
Well, thank you. I'm glad we got to cover at least that one. But of course, this was just the first interview that we've been able to get to hear a bit about some of the priorities and work that is ongoing. And of course, we wish you the best of luck and stay safe.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to share some of our plans with your audience.
And that was the Attorney General, Honorable Magali Marin Young. We're going to go ahead and take a break now, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about a Maya culture show and featuring one of their latest artists.
It's a fact that you can access unlimited services with Smart. Tired of being measured or cut off when you need to be connected? It's a fact that when you sign up for Smart's Plus plan, you get unlimited talk, text, and unlimited data. And it's a fact that you can sign up with your group of up to 5 members for Smart's Share plans and up to 40 members for Smart's Enterprise plans for unlimited talk, text, and data. Smart has the true unlimited plans. That's a fact. Be smart and live smart.
Abigail.
Yes, Gran?
Abigail, I can't breathe well.
Granny, we need to go to the hospital to get you checked out.
No! I'm fine.
Yes, Gran, we need to go now to get you treated. Now, before it's too late.
No.
Grandma, we need to go for all of us.
No.
Stop. If you are having flu-like symptoms, please call us immediately for medical guidance. If you have chronic conditions such as diabetes and you are experiencing symptoms such as shortness of breath or chest pain, please also seek medical attention immediately. We lost a lot of people this year. We don't want to lose you too. Please seek help if necessary. Call us at 0800-664-2273. Continue to wear your mask at all times. Keep physical distance when in public and stay at home unless absolutely necessary. This message has been brought to you by the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Yo, Belize, this is Tig the artist, been the hardest.
And I am Young Protege, aka the Traffic Man, and we are here to talk to you about drinking and driving.
You see me? I could party when I ready, especially with my fans them, but I don't drink and drive. Somebody always sober in my squad to drive.
That's good to hear, birds, because there's no secret that too much Belizeans always they get in a crash because of drinking and driving.
You know, almost 30% of Belizeans reported driving after drinking more than 2 glasses of alcohol, which is considered the legal limit of intoxication.
And what's more, almost 40% reported often riding with a driver who was intoxicated, and over 25% reported driving a motorcycle intoxicated.
This is a serious issue because Belizeans consume an average of 30 liters of alcohol per year, which puts us as the highest consumers of alcohol in Latin America and the Caribbean.
Belize, we need to do better than this, man.
Belizeans, let's keep our roads safe for everyone. Never drink and drive because you can't replay in a real life. Stig says so. Respect.
And we're back. And we're moving into our second conversation for today. This is really an exciting conversation as we find out more about a Maya cultural program and artists being featured on their show. So I did some practice during the
we were doing
break,
some lessons.
right? So this is actually in Quechua and then in Mopan and then English. It's Ko'och Ti Okot To Shahok. Let's dance. Got it right?
All right.
Okay, so we got Aurelia Show, who is the producer of the show, and Edwin Show, who is the artist. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Pleasant good morning, Belize. Dios to la kaleshin with Mopanil. Dios chishonilesh la esh neket achinakse ekchi.
Right.
All right.
And ditto to all you just said.
Great. So this is, of course, a really interesting program. So why don't we start by talking about how the idea came about to have a program like this and how you got started.
Okay, good morning once again. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to be on Open Your Eyes. It's about opening that window for everybody to embrace Maya music, Maya culture on a whole. Anyways, so in 2015, as if you may know, that I'm one of the founding member of the first community, a Maya community-based radio in Toledo, Akutan Radio at Tumukin Center of Learning. After I left there in 2015, I am driven with that passion to continue the work that I have done, reaching out and safeguarding, revitalizing the Maya culture. And it's a very vibrant culture, and I think there's a lot that it entails, and there is very limited people or resources that are there to safeguard all of these important elements in the culture. So from there on, I established a production company, a business called 13 Canil Productions, and again, that is as the name itself. It refers to one of the special day on the Maya calendar, Canil. Canil. It represents fertility, growth, and that is where I started. And I saw the need for us to have a better representation there in our country, where we cover the language we speak, the Mopan Maya, Ekchi Maya. So I offer this business to translate, to do translation in both the both languages, and also to do audio voiceovers, because I know that there are lots of businesses that would like to reach out to the Mayan population, but because of language barriers, some of our elders or some of the community members who speak Maya don't understand English. So I think this would be a very important and very catchy opportunity to do such thing for them, to offer that service. So again, I started doing that, and we started to grow over the years, and we have worked for various organizations like consulting firms, major consulting firms in Belize. Recently, we have produced COVID-19 PSAs for PAHO and the World Health Organization for Toledo, specifically in Mopan Maya and in Ekchi Maya. So there's a lot that we have been doing, and also been documenting artisans, documenting Maya, highlighting the culture itself in the Toledo district. And so from there, during the lockdown, it occurred to me that, there's lots of DJs just, like it was just overwhelming, because too much DJs here and there on Facebook. So I say, I need to have a representation for the Maya people. So that is where I decided to say, let's dance. We need to be happy, and we need to motivate ourselves, especially during the lockdown. And that is when it occurred to me that, I'm going to do a show, but this will highlight Maya culture, and of course, this reach out to everyone that embrace and like the music, that would listen to oral stories, tradition, and most of all to revitalize and safeguard the language all on a whole. So that is how, I guess, in a nutshell, when I came out with Kooshti Okot, and I said I can't leave the Ekchi. I am a Mopan Maya person, and in my language, Kooshti Okot means let us dance, and I feel like it's catchy. If I tell you Kooshti Okot, like you look at me, yes, let's do it. and when you listen to the marimba, or the harp music, man, the energy that is connected with me. That I am a person, I would speak my language any and everywhere I go, and I would dance to any marimba on any stage, any day, anywhere. And that is me. So I am basically, you know, I've been advocating, I've been a culture activist for years now, and this has always been my motivation. So along with that, then I say that, you know what, I need to also highlight the Ekchi culture.
Yeah.
And over the years, I've learned to speak the language Ekchi Maya. So that's why I said Tosha, you know. So
you fit in
overall
both the
together, that
Kekchi
is the name of the show.
Mopan. Let me just ask a question. This started as a pandemic project, and I love how you talked about just being able to see other people going online and providing entertainment. What has been the reaction since you started last April? I first put out my short recording on Facebook on May 20th, 2020, and I recorded it in Mopan Maya, and I put it on my YouTube channel and on my Facebook page, and I did some flyers, and the reaction was great. Like, wow, let's do this. Yeah.
Play marimba one time, you know. You know, and then my first show was on the 29th, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the 29th of May. That's when I first did my first show, and again, when I to add some more spice to it, I start my show by identifying or calling the day on the Maya calendar, because every day there is it's a very special day on the Maya calendar. Like, for example, for today, I forget to mention this, but today is a very special day on the Maya calendar. That's Thursday, 14th January 2021. Today is 12th Keme on the Maya calendar. And in some languages, in some Maya languages, this day is also called Kame. Its literal meaning in other Maya languages is the day of the death, like a death in its literal sense, no? This is the end, but not just for life, but for all things that we're experiencing in our life. So it is a nawal of death and the natural elements, including human beings. It's a nawal of diseases. It has much power upon life and death. So it is a very powerful and very strong and very delicate day. And that is why that at the beginning of today, of Keme, we must ask to be free from all negative situations to which we are likely being exposed to, especially like today. You know, we must avoid situations that may expose us to like fatal consequences that have negative impact on us. And it exerts influence over life and death. So it is a day to cure and also heal this disease. So there is a good part, and also there is a negative part to it. You know, so like in the Maya culture, there is also the good level of energy. There is a bad level of energy, and even up to every day, you know, we could see, you know, both good and bad things occurring. So and this itself. And people who are born on this day are very strong people, and they possess extraordinary material and spiritual power that can be used to do good things.
All right.
But they can commit, you know, irreversible mistakes if they're not careful, you know.
Yeah.
So let us take good care of ourselves on day something like this, you know.
Absolutely.
And this,
well, you know, I guess. So no, I was just going to say, you know, that's really interesting, and you know, thank you so much for sharing that, because I'm sure a lot of our audience doesn't know about things like this. But you know, in the interest of time, I just want to jump over a little bit to Edwin, you know, who is a Maya artist, and I wanted to give you an opportunity to talk a little bit about you yourself as an artist and your participation in this program. But Edwin, why don't we talk about you and the type of music that you make?
Hello, morning.
Hi.
Yes.
Yes, morning. Good morning to everyone watching now. It's a great pleasure to be on the show. My name is Edwin Shaw. Like Aurelia said, Edwin Shaw. I'm better known as Showtime or the
Showtime.
Mayan Punta.
All right.
Mayan Punta, yes.
Maya Punta.
And you have a video out. It's, let me try to get it. It's Ki'il Inwul.
Yes, mom. That's correct.
What does that mean?
That means the happiness in me, like the joy in me.
Okay. Edwin, what made
Mom.
you want to compose music in Mayan language?
To be honest, I like music from when I was very young, very young. Watching all the Belizean artists come up, watching, I'm into punta music. Punta. That was the main reason I chose to sing in punta, but in the Mopan language.
Yeah.
So it's
that's what.
So it's
Go
kind of.
ahead.
So would you then describe the music that you make sort of like a fusion with the elements of your own Maya culture into punta and other different, other local styles?
Yeah. The main reason I chose punta is because this is a beat that is, an active beat, which makes you wanna move around and dance a little.
Yeah.
So that was why I chose the punta beat to go with my Mopan Maya song. This song, the Mopan Mayan Healing World song, was written last 2 weeks. This song actually took me 2 hours to complete.
Where are you from? Where did you grow up?
In Belmopan, living in Belmopan, originally from Punta Gorda.
Okay.
Santa Cruz, Toledo, no?
Yeah. And
Yeah,
And so when you put out music, I love it because this is just such a true representation of Belize. Here you are singing a punta song in Mopan Maya, and you're highlighting different parts of the country, but where you grew up in Belmopan. What do people say when they see you perform or they hear your music and they realize that you're singing punta in your language?
Yeah, that's a question I get too much, People ask me what made me sing in punta, I told them the same reason I love punta, I love active music, dancing, As you can see in the video, I was, very happy,
Yeah.
Dancing. So the music healing world means, as I said earlier, joy in me, bringing joy to my heart, Sitting down and thinking about the marimba and the harp, the culture, the Mayan culture.
Yeah.
I thought of it, and I was like, I should write a song about my culture, So I said I will write a piece about the marimba and I will write a piece about the harp.
Okay.
So I combine it into one song. So I went to my studio recorder, Mr. Alex O. I told him, "Oh, I'm ready to produce this song. What do you think about it?" Made him listen to it, Well, he said this music is very catchy.
Yeah.
So we revised it over and over, and he said we're gonna release it,
And you have it up on your YouTube?
Yes, I have it on my YouTube.
Okay.
I have 5 songs right now released, but I have 3 in Mopan. 3 songs in Mopan. The first one I released was a Corona song.
And also,
Corona. Yeah, and what made me really start singing was also, as Aurelio said, was the pandemic, staying home, not doing much, trying to find something constructive to do. I started to, put my mind to the test and start working, and said, you know what, I gotta write a song, I started writing, and I made my first song in about July of 2020. Then I published it, and then the reaction from the people was, they love the song because there's not a single person who's out there singing in the language, being, expressing their joy in song-wise, no?
Yeah, that's really great to hear. Now,
Yeah.
Aurelio, could you perhaps share a little bit of your hopes and where you see the program growing in the future and what you want to accomplish or share?
Certainly, one of the elements I want to include now is to feature Mayan artists on my show, like Edwin. I think he has a very beautiful and well done music with a very catchy rhythm. It's Maya contemporary music. So things like this I want to feature and highlight, and also to talk about what inspired them to sing, so that we could create inspiration to people who have talent out there. There are lots of youths out there or elders on a whole that have never been given the chance to showcase or to record a music or to write a music or to play an instrument. And I think this is a platform that we could use to uplift that. But overall, to answer your question, it is my hope one day to have TV Maya and where we could showcase, if not, maybe starting by having a space on the national TV stations or radio stations, and to where we could have a broader audience, because specifically right now my audience are like middle age and younger people, because they're the ones that are technologically savvy, that they could have access on Facebook, they have access to internet, but the people that are at home, that are that don't have Facebook or phone to view these live shows, I want to reach out into their homes, into their into their lives, so that we could build more authentic Maya program with content that highlights the food, the culture, the tradition, and most of all the language, the music that comes with it, that makes it vibrant. So,
and the food.
The food, of course.
I want to see a cooking see a cooking segment with a real caldo.
Yeah, I know my colleague Chef Shan always reach out to me and say, what, because we need to do something, So so there's a whole lot ideas, and ideas never keep pouring out of my my head, my mind. There's just too much to do and very little resources, and in doing this show, I have my small pieces of equipment that allows me to do this. And what I usually do is to people who want to sponsor the show or to make it possible, to maybe they could always reach out, and this is how we see growth, and businesses out there. There's been a few businesses that reach out to support the show and to have their products featured during the show, like Blue Spring Water and
there it is. Look.
And some construction places, hardware stores in Toledo. Because when we highlight and speak of their products in the Maya language, I think that gives it a very special boost in strategy to the minds of the audience.
Yeah. Aurelio, the blessings of the internet is that you're able to be on Facebook at this time. What's the name of the page? And then, Edwin, you can tell us how people find you on YouTube. What's the name of the page to see the show, Aurelio?
So I go live on my page, Aurelio Show, and that is where I do the live show. But then there is an additional page, 13 Canil Productions, that I want to feature more of the work that we do to create PSAs, to highlight food, to highlight all of these things that I've spoke about. Culture itself. I think this is very important that we safeguard and preserve our Maya heritage. It's very important for our for our younger generation, so people who love music, especially the younger ones, that they know whenever they hear a marimba, hey, that's me, that is a part of me. That's a part of my culture, and I should not be ashamed,
It is so
when people
important.
talk about.
I was just going to say, it's so important that you can maintain these cultural connections, and kudos to you. You can find Edwin's show on YouTube, and you can see his music and music videos that he's released there. Great job, and we hope that more people reach out and learn something new through your program. I think it's Gavin's turn to give the name a try.
Yes.
But we have to say we're out of time, and thank you for joining us and telling us all about the work that you're doing. Tokre.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, we want to thank them one more time, and that is this is going to be my best try.
Let's see.
Ko'osh ti okot to shahok. Right?
Let's dance.
That was good. All right, there we go.
Let's dance.
All right, guys.
Let's dance.
Thank you, and tune in this Friday.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
And
it's a 1 hour and a half show. It starts at 7 and ends at 8:30 p.m. every Friday.
There you have it. So if you want something that's right to get you in, you'll be right before the curfew, so you'll be right at home. So you'll be so you can watch that this Friday evening. But with that, we are going to take another short break, and when we come back, we are going to be joined by Bradley's Backyard Barbecue. So if you want to get a little taste or a little preview, then you want to stay tuned. So we'll be right back.
Why, Tony?
Boy, Keith, what you going on, man?
I actually come see you because I need to buy a stack of them plastic plates and cups for my grocery shop because I run low.
Boy, I stopped importing that thing since April 15th, And I just routed the last batch, must be about like 3 weeks back,
Man, do I usually have that thing? What you going on?
Check this, right? Under the new law, we ban all single-use plastics, so that the cups, plates, forks, spoons, and knives, all of that. Since April 15th, can't import none of them. Starting January 15, 2021, you can't manufacture them. April 15, 2021, you can't sell them. And after July 14, 2021, if you get catch with any other thing, you will get fined.
Me never know this. I guess I have to make some changes then. I have to make the customers know that anything not available. Anyways, bro. Thanks, man.
No problem, man. Take care.
Es un hecho que puedes obtener servicios ilimitados con Smart. ¿Cansado de que se corte la línea cuando más necesitas estar conectado? Es un hecho que cuando te suscribes al plan de Smart Plus, obtienes llamadas, textos y datos ilimitados. Y también es un hecho que te puedes suscribir con un grupo de 5 miembros al plan Smart Share y hasta 40 miembros al plan Smart Enterprise para llamadas, textos y datos ilimitados. Smart tiene los verdaderos planes ilimitados. Es un hecho. Sé Smart y vive de forma Smart.
Brianna, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Mommy, when I grow up, I want to be a doctor.
That's great, honey. You have to study hard then and get good grades.
Yes, Mommy, I will. Mommy, why do the neighbors have to play the music so loud?
Every day, people are affected by noise. Noise, like loud music, is not a concern for those making the noise because they are not the ones being affected. It is usually the vulnerable that is impacted the most by noise pollution, such as the sick, the elderly, and the young. That is why the Department of the Environment is asking you to be considerate of your neighbors. Be mindful that your actions can have lasting effects, and know that noise pollution is an offense under the pollution regulations.
Reduce your risk of viral illness like the flu or the coronavirus. Wash your hands frequently with soap and water or with an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Cover your nose and mouth when coughing or sneezing with a tissue. Throw away, then wash hands immediately. Avoid close contact with anyone who has the cold or flu-like symptoms. If you become ill, please visit your doctor or nearest health center and share your travel history. A health and wellness message from your Ministry of Health.
And we are back. And if you're joining us right now, we're getting our third conversation for this morning started. And we are, as you can see, joined by, in addition to a great spread of food, we're going to be talking about some barbecue this morning. And joining us this morning, we've got Myron Bradley, who is the manager of Bradley's Backyard Barbecue. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning to all our viewers as well.
All right. So, yeah, thanks a lot for joining us and coming to talk to us a little bit about the restaurant. Why don't you share with our viewers just a little bit about what Bradley's Barbecue is all about?
So Bradley's Backyard Barbecue is Texas-style, slow and low cooked smoked meats.
Okay. Go ahead.
Right.
Real barbecue.
Real barbecue. So a lot of our viewers may not know, but there's a difference between the barbecuing and grilling. Most Belizeans know that, well, what we know is grilling, and the difference is that the grilling is direct heat, while barbecuing, Texas-style authentic barbecuing, is indirect heat, meaning that when you pull out your grill on the weekend and you put that meat on the grill, you need to monitor it, continuously flipping it because of the high heat. That is grilling. Now, in our process, our meats are in there approximately anywhere between 3 hours and 16 hours.
Wow.
Because it's indirect heat.
So it's like low and slow.
Right, slow and low. So we use oak wood to smoke our meats.
This is it?
That is it, right. So
go ahead. I just want to, if I can smell.
Right, so we use oak wood to smoke our meats.
Yeah.
So that goes into our chamber. The smoke from the oak goes up, and the smoke itself is what smokes the meats, hence the long cooking time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting because I know, you know, when it comes to barbecue, there's a whole lot with the heat and also with the material that you use to for the heat, the wood.
Right.
Or there's debates about wood, charcoal, propane, butane, all of that.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah.
So you guys use mostly wood?
Yeah, mostly oak wood.
Okay.
Yeah, that's our preferred wood to use.
And does it change the flavor? I mean, does this have an impact on the flavor?
Yeah, you can use, there's a vast variety of wood you can use to smoke wood, but we choose the oak wood.
And we get that from Belize?
Yes, that's wood in Belize.
Awesome. And sure, and you have a variety of different types of meats and items on your menu, I would imagine, as well, right?
Right, right. So we have brisket, we have smoked brisket, we have smoked ribs. On Saturdays, every Saturday you can get beef ribs that we have display here. That's every Saturday. Smoked chicken, we go smoked sausages, etc. Right?
Yeah. Now, you guys are open for how long now?
We opened our doors August 1st of last year.
I know, during the pandemic.
Right, just before it started out.
It's a beautiful place, and I know that right now we're not doing indoor dining, but you have been offering takeout, and so people have been able to get some access to the backyard barbecue.
Right.
What's been the response so far?
Well, we do offer dining as well. So what had happened, even though, because we are an indoor restaurant, they're not allowing us to do dine-in. So what we're doing is dine out. So what we did is we have a tent set up right outside the restaurant, and we have tables and chairs out there. So our customers can still come on down and enjoy the smoked meats outside with their friends and family.
And what's been the favorite item so far?
Definitely the ribs, brisket, the beef ribs, pork chops. Those are the go-tos.
That's everything.
What's your favorite?
I love the ribs.
All right.
You
the
love
ribs and
ribs.
the brisket. Yeah, right.
And do you do meat or do you do burger?
Sorry?
No, I mean, you said you like the brisket. Do you go for just getting the meat or do you go for the burger?
Yeah, both. Both, to be honest.
Yeah. So it's not only just a wide array of real barbecue meat. It's talking about the other products that you do. You do burgers. What else is on the menu?
We do burgers. We do wraps. Some specials. We do quesadilla, and we try to change up the special and get creative with the special. So, yeah.
Okay. And so how do people get in touch? Where are you located?
So we're located in the Keystone building on Newtown Barracks. This is right in front of the Moe's Pizza. You can contact us via our landline 223-4800, or you can WhatsApp us 610-8781.
Okay.
Yeah, and I know that, I mean, all of this food in front of us is getting is making me kind of hungry, and I know that we are getting ready to do some cooking on the show. So we are going to have our chef from Bradley's Backyard Barbecue joining us in a sec. We've got Orlando Brown, the chef, coming on.
He's going to come on.
He's
So we're going to shift out.
Yep.
Don't go too far because we might still ask you questions over there. And Orlando, of course, this is all because we're trying to maximize as much distance. But Orlando, thank you for being here.
Thank you as well for having us here to showcase our lovely cuisine.
All right, so tell us a little bit about what we're going to be making today.
All right, because most of our products or meats is done in the smoker, so we can't really do any smoking in the studio this morning.
Yeah, we don't have 16 hours.
We did. What do you mean? We started from like 1 a.m. This is what we produced.
So one of our most go-to is the burger or pulled pork sandwich or burger. So I'll assemble a pulled pork burger for you, and also one of our appetizer. We call it the Frito Frenzy.
The Frito Frenzy.
Yeah. So many people, when they come and they hear about the Frito Frenzy and they see we open the pack of Frito chips. It's the Frito chips. So we use it as an appetizer. So what we'll do is you have the Frito chips. We add our pulled chicken.
Okay.
And it is smoked pulled meat.
So you tell us what your what's your favorite dish?
In the restaurant?
Yeah.
The
what
beef
do you
ribs.
go for?
The beef ribs on Saturday. Oh my!
Yeah, that's
it's smoked so long it's just melt right off the bone. The beef ribs, you gotta try it on Saturdays.
And full of flavor too, I would imagine.
Full of flavor.
So what we did was we put some pulled pork on the Fritos.
Then we add the pico de gallo. We had our Bradley's Backyard Barbecue. It's bottled right now, but it's not for sale on the market as yet. But it's our special barbecue sauce that we make from scratch.
It's got some secret. It's a secret recipe, I guess.
So that's coming soon. Is that a product you're working on?
It's in the process. It's in the process. So right here we have our Frito Frenzy, or Frito fried chips. Yeah. So this is our.
Yes, that's an appetizer.
Appetizer.
Yeah, how much?
Yeah.
Also, we have a special sweet potato fries.
I was about to say, you have one of my favorite ingredients there. And what you do offer is the option for people to get regular potato fries
and sweet potato
or
fries.
sweet potato.
So, but we do our sweet potato fries a special way, right? So this is a mandolin.
Yeah.
So we cut our sweet potato fries on the mandolin. It's kind of dangerous, so you have to be professional.
I won't even volunteer.
So what we do a waffle cut. It's called a waffle cut.
Yeah. And I guess the danger is that you could just go with one of your fingers, right?
We actually have a guard, but because of the potato, it's very hard to use the guard at first. So we have to train you how to use it.
No, well, we got the pro with us, so we'll just...
Just don't ask us to try, right?
Yeah.
So if you know, we got a waffle cut, like, so it's almost when they come to the restaurant at first, they're saying that we're selling chips from the bag, but
no.
It's our waffle fries, so we'll fry some of that a little bit after.
Have people been open to getting the sweet potato versus the regular potato?
I think the sweet potato sells more than the regular potato.
It's
People love the
delicious,
sweet potato. They love the sweet potato. So with our burger or pulled pork burger, so we get our brioche bun. This is the next signature for the restaurant. We use our own brioche bun from our Sugar Fix. That's our sister company. So they made the brioche bun for us.
So they bake the buns for you, and brioche is different how? How is it different from a regular bun?
You have to come to the restaurant and I'll give you the secret to that. But the brioche bun, it have a different flavor. It's more of an eggy butter. You can't really get the secret, but it's much soft and tender than the other regular buns. And it holds moisture more and stuff like that. So we have our lettuce, tomato, pickles. We add our pulled pork.
This is another hot item that people tend to get?
Every day.
Every
day. A lot of pulled pork burgers. You could smell the aroma from the wood and the smoke.
Oh, I smell lots of stuff right now. It's just, I'm patiently waiting for the sampling time.
Right. So we use onion rings for our pulled pork burger. So what we do, we have a dry mixture, a flour mixture.
Okay.
So from the flour, to the wet butter, we do a beer butter
Okay.
or onion rings. Then to our breadcrumbs, panko breadcrumbs.
Ah.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be really crispy.
Yeah. So you have a nice texture. You just want to double dip it, so you get a nice.
Oh. Ooh. No, no,
He's
I'm
like
getting
writing
tips.
down tips.
Right? No, that's what I need. Yeah, you guys know me, so
Yeah.
this is something I'll probably try at home too.
I just think onion rings are too much work. I'll just go get them from you.
I'll just need to have a little bit more.
So you're talk about the other sides that are available.
Yeah.
So we have, in barbecue we have mac and cheese. We also do that from scratch, our own cheese sauce. We also have the coleslaw, the potato salad, famous Bradley's rice and beans. You gotta try the rice and beans at Bradley's. My boss is so in love with the rice and beans. So you could come and you try. We have potato salad, rice and beans. We have the sweet potato fries, the regular fries. And we also have wings, regular wings, barbecue wings. We do it in 3 different flavors. We have our espresso barbecue sauce, our spicy barbecue sauce, and our regular barbecue sauce. We also do chicken fingers, we have fish burgers, and so it's not all about smoked meats alone. So we have a variety. We kind of mix the Texas with the Belizean culture to accommodate everyone.
Have you guys ventured into game meat yet? You know, Belizeans love the game meat.
No, not as yet, but we're heading there. Right now we're having an oxtail, a smoked oxtail special coming up. So we're kind of venturing in the other meats such as game meats and other meats that you don't normally get in a barbecue store. Just waiting for the onion rings to get a little.
Those are getting nice and crispy.
So a lot of what goes into the barbecue here is like secret ingredients of what you do, from your rub to your smoking process to your sauces.
It's a very long and tedious process. Sometimes I'm at work from 2 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
So because the meat steak, very long process. So it's all about from your rub to the cooking time to knowing your temperature. You have to know all the different internal temperature for each pieces of meat.
And
so the pork ribs would have a different temperature from the beef ribs, from the brisket, from the pork chops.
And did you always have like a passion or a love for making barbecue?
Well, I have a passion for cooking. It's my career. So I love cooking. In almost any cuisine, I could do something from almost any cuisine. I learned about I didn't do much in the barbecue field until I met Mr. Bradley. And I did
and he is very passionate about his barbecue.
He loves from point on barbecue. Everything. So I went and did my research and I practiced and I trained a lot, and now almost that I'm from Texas.
No. We like you from Jamaica because we like your festival.
Oh, you're in love with the festival.
You'll add that on as a side soon?
Yes. We actually do it for specials.
Okay.
So we do our smoked jerk chicken with the festival, and so you could get it as special. We do a different special every week. We used to do one every day, but because of the time and stuff, so we stretch it out for a week. So for this week, we're having our crispy sandwich burger.
Crispy sandwich burger?
So yes, so it's
chicken?
It's chicken.
Okay.
Or fish. You could get chicken or fish. But so
I can get a job there if you need.
You need to come to the restaurant and help me out sometime. Get real busy sometime.
I'm a takeout kind of gal, but yeah. It's good to know that you guys have, I mean, it's hard to start for businesses to thrive right now. But starting in this circumstance has probably been a challenge.
It was. So we had to come up with a lot of different creative ideas and how to do specials, how to do advertising, and
adapt.
Adapt to the different.
But I guess even despite the difficulties, you still must have built up some good, loyal customers and gotten some great feedback so far, right?
We have an excellent. You could check our Facebook page and our reviews. I sure it's not even 5-star reviews. There are 7-star reviews. We're doing excellent in when it comes to the food.
I mean, quite frankly, and I've always argued this with many people before. This is barbecue. Like you can't get dry grilled barbecue and say, you're eating a good. This is what it's supposed to be.
Yeah. So.
And because of the process, what difference does it make? Putting it in a smoker or smoking the meat versus grilling it. What's the difference in what you get as the final product?
So grilling the meat, right? You have a thicker bark on it because it's on direct temperature, as my manager said, right? And it takes less time. It's nice texture, but barbecue meat, you have a different texture. Even our pork chops, right? Our pork chops is 2-inch or 1.5 thick.
Yeah.
And many people do not use the pork chop this thick, right? So what we'll do, we'll mark it on our grill, then we'll put it in the smoker for the time that we smoked the pork chops for. And when they came to the restaurant first time, they were saying, but this pork chops can't grill and possible, right?
I mean, because it's a lot more moist.
Yeah, so it's very moist inside and it's very good. You need to try the pork chops when you're here.
Well, we have it all in front of us, and we're definitely going to be sampling very soon. You have sausages here as well. So I see some chicken, corn. We have sausages over here.
So what we do, we have a family platter at the restaurant. We have a family platter that we do. You get to choose 3 meats and 3 sides. So and it feeds up to about 6 to 8 persons that in the family, and it's good for events such as parties, and even though we're not having any parties now, but in that sense, when you're having parties and stuff, you could
have a party at home.
You could try your family platter, or even for a Sunday dinner at home. You get the family platter, so you just call and order the family platter, and we assemble
it. And that's another thing, because usually when we think about barbecue, we automatically think about bigger portions, because you don't just have one rib or one rib,
All right, so and I see you have your famous coleslaw.
So just set it right there. So with each meal you get you choose a side, the coleslaw, your fries, and.
All right, you can be the waiter, Gavin, and put it to the front so we can get it to the shot. See, I'll help in the kitchen, and he'll
so we've
he'll be the front person.
We've got our nice pulled pork burger right there, along with the sweet potato fries. And got our
Frito Frenzy.
Frito Frenzy.
Yeah.
All right, so Bradley's Backyard Barbecue in Belize City. When do you open?
We're open from Monday to Saturday. We start serving at 11 to 6:30 right now because of the pandemic, so our time is cut short. Normally we open until 11 at night.
And you can still eat at the restaurant.
Yes, but you eat outside and enjoy the cool breeze from the sea, and you dine in. Well, dine out.
Or you can also pick up.
Yes, so you could pick up. Also, we have in our bar we have a 2-for-1 special at the bar. So your mixed drinks like smoothies, mojito, daiquiris, pina colada, you could get 2-for-1.
All right.
And I must emphasize, our menu is awesome. The price is ridiculous. You won't believe when you see our price for the kind of meat that we're offering.
And you can get, I mean, if you can't handle a big platter of meat, you can get your burgers as well with the same meat in there. So from your brisket to your pork. All right. So if you love barbecue and you haven't tried it, something is wrong.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Orlando, for showing us a bit of what you guys have.
And thank you for having us. Come and enjoy our cuisine. It's different, and the ambience and is very beautiful. The scent of the oak wood and the smoke is something you want to experience in Belize.
Absolutely. So that is Bradley's Backyard Barbecue, located at Newtown Barracks, right here in Belize City. So, Chef, thank you once again for coming in and showing us all of this. And we, of course, want to say thank you to Myron, the manager of Bradley's, again, for talking to us a little bit about the business. But it's time for our final break. So we are going to take a short one, and when we come back, we will have our wrap-up. So please stay tuned.
Technology is ubiquitous, and it's transforming how, when, and where we work. Fulltech Systems is placing award-winning devices in the hands of information workers, allowing them to work without compromise in a world without wires, to innovate, create, and to maximize productivity anytime, anywhere, satisfying the needs of the desk-centric remote and field worker and every other worker in between. We are providing the industry's best devices to businesses going through the process of digital transformation. Partner with us today to provide the solutions that will allow your employees to work effectively and efficiently to enhance your customers' experience. Fulltech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price, but stay for the service.
Todos estamos en riesgo de contraer la COVID-19, por lo que es importante reconocer rápidamente los signos y síntomas de la infección. Los síntomas más comunes son fiebre, tos seca y cansancio o fatiga. Algunas personas también pueden tener dolor de garganta, dolores y molestias, congestión nasal o diarrea. Pero algunas personas también han reportado conjuntivitis, dolor de cabeza, pérdida de sabor u olor, sarpullido en la piel o un cambio en el color de los dedos de las manos o los pies. Los signos de alarma de emergencia que requieren atención médica inmediata son dificultad extrema para respirar, dolor constante y severo o presión en el pecho, confusión, dificultad para hablar o moverse, labios, rostro, dedos de las manos o de los pies azulados. Para mayor información, llame al 0800-664-2273. Protejamos nuestra salud.
If we are only as strong as our families, businesses, institutions, and the communities that surround us, then by giving businesses the power to grow, entrepreneurs the ability to expand, and by giving our families the right to own something, the Belize Bank gives you the power to build a nation, our nation. We are stronger together. The Belize Bank, our country, your bank.
And we're back, and eagerly waiting to jump in here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Tried to hold you back for a moment there.
Yeah, yes, you know, if you watch our show, you know how I usually am when there's food on the show. But of course, the spread right in front of us is provided by Bradley's Backyard Barbecue. So we want to thank them once again for coming in and showing us all about their restaurant and some of the delicious food that they have on their menu.
And we are looking forward to trying it. But we also want to say thank you to our viewers for today. And to our guests, we started off with an introductory interview with the Attorney General of Belize, and we appreciate hearing from her just some of the work that she has already started and some of the goals that she has in being able to execute her role.
Absolutely, and we also want to say thank you to our second guest. We had Aurelio Shaw and Edwin Shaw talking all about their new program, which is highlighting Mayan culture and music, which you can see every Friday evening on their Facebook page. Edwin, also, who's a Maya artist, has some stuff on YouTube, so you can check him out there. But we want to thank them for coming in and telling us all about their exciting program.
All right, but that's all the time we have. We do want to let you know that starting on Monday, our 3-day coverage of the state funeral of Governor General Dame Benita Gordon will commence. As you are aware, the event will take place over 3 days as she is laid to rest, and Channel 5 will be covering all of it live, so you don't want to miss that. Be sure to tune in. And tomorrow's a holiday, so we won't see you till Monday.
True.
If you want to contact us, send us an email at oye@channel5belize.com. You can also drop me a line at marleni_oye@channel5belize.com. Find us on Facebook at Open Your Eyes BZ
And you can also find us on Instagram at OIE Belize.
And remember to tune in on Monday morning when you open your eyes.
Start your morning right.
Until then, keep your eyes, your mind,
and your heart open.
We'll see you soon. Enjoy.
Open Your Eyes was brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.